Good afternoon, everyone. This is Mr. Danzel, and I wanted to introduce the very first part of the cartoon project. Since I'm not there, I wanted to make sure you understood how exactly to get into or to get your picture files. So before you start anything, you will need to download those picture files, and I've shared them with you. Actually, there was a couple people now that I realize it that I haven't shared with. Anyway, we need to open your Google Drive. So you go here, click on that, open your drive, and then if you come over here to Shared with Me, if you click on that, you should see those files right here. Now obviously they don't show up on mine because this is my Google Drive, but last night I shared those picture files with you, and they should show up here. And when you find the one that you like best, you can click on it. If you right click on it, you can then download it, and then after it's downloaded, you'll be able. Alright, so once you have your picture ready to be uploaded, we're going to go to File and Open, and you can probably find yours in Downloads, which is where mine is as well, and this is going to open up your picture. Now, I do want to say that in starting with instruction 4, I have had some issues with this. Every time I go to File New, it freezes up on me. If you're having that issue, then just go ahead and try to proceed as I'm going to do, just using this image. If going to File New works for you, then follow those instructions. Okay, so I'm going to skip down to instruction 7, and if you have the 2 layers because instruction 4 worked for you, then great. The layer that has the picture on it, you're going to rename picture. I actually right-clicked on background and duplicated layer. You may not need to do that. I hope that doesn't confuse you. But anyway, you need to have a layer here named picture. So we are next going to use the magnetic lasso tool. Where the heck is it? So we're going to use the magnetic lasso tool, which I found had to go down here to find. And you are going to select yourself, just as I am doing. So you need to go do that all the way around your picture. Okay, after we have all of that selected, we're going to go to Select and Save Selection. We're going to put your name in there. We're also then going to go to Select and Inverse. And if we press the Delete key, it's going to make this background transparent. Now you can't really tell because this background is there, but if we make this invisible, you can see now that the background is gone. Okay, and then we are going to select and deselect. So we're done there. And then we need a new layer. So actually, I'm going to come over here. We're going to call that layer Cartoon. Okay, so we've got a new layer right there. Make sure you are on this layer for our next step. So we're going to be using a brush, and we need it to be pretty small. Actually down to 3 pixels. And, oops. We need to go back to General Brushes, and we want it to be a hard round brush, hard round. The blending mode should be normal, and the opacity and flow should be 100. So we're ready to go. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is begin tracing all of the features of our body. This is probably more zoomed in than you really want to see my face, but it's necessary for this particular step. So with your brush tool and the color on this part, I don't know that it really matters. I'm going to go with black, And when you are tracing, you have to make sure that you enclose your tracing. So what I mean by that is, if I'm going to trace my ear, and you really do need to zoom in to do this right. So if I'm going to trace my ear and come up here, I need to come back and reconnect with what I originally had there, or where I started, I guess I should say. Okay, just like on that. And here, because what you're going to do is fill all this in color. So to do that, you take the eyedropper tool, and we want it probably to be like that. Then you use the paint bucket. Oh, by the way, you got to make sure you're doing the foreground. Okay. Then you take your paint bucket, you come in here, and it's going to fill in all of that. If you don't have it enclosed, in fact, I might not have that enclosed. See, okay, so I didn't have this enclosed, and it actually filled in the entire picture. So you have to make sure that you have everything enclosed. Let me go back, see if I can fix that. Okay. And dropper, boom, paint bucket, boom. All right, we're still not quite enclosed because it got a little bit more than I wanted there, but you get the idea. Just make sure that when you are tracing all the features that you are enclosing everything. A couple of final tips. So after playing around with it a little bit, I realized that, and now I'm really zoomed in case you couldn't tell. I realized that when you use the paint bucket, it's putting color where the little triangle is pointing, not where the paint is spilling out. So what I was doing was I was going here, and it was painting everything out there where the triangle was. So make sure the triangle is what is in the area right there. So that's kind of a weird eyebrow, but anyway, that is where it's going to put the color, where the triangle is pointing. There are a couple of other instructions for when you finish all of your tracing and all of your coloring. Instructions 20 through 25, make sure you, or 20 through 24, excuse me. So make sure you pay attention to those. But the more, this is going to take some time, especially if you're really putting in good detail. I mean, if you are tracing every part, every little detail of your body here, it's going to take you some time, and that's okay. The more detail you have, the better it's going to look. So take your time. You'll have a couple days to work on this and have fun. And if you have questions, I will be able to help you when I get back. See you later.